Istanbul, the Great and Wealthy City, by Abbey World Cultures. Istanbul was the major and the wealthiest city in Turkey and the Mediterranean. Istanbul was the capital of four main different empires: the Roman Empire, Byzantine Empire, Ottoman Empire, and the Latin Empire. Istanbul lies on the triangular peninsula between Europe and Asia. Istanbul is perfectly located for trade, considering that there are many trade routes coming from three main bodies of water. They are the Black Sea, the Bosporus Strait, and the Mediterranean Sea. In addition to the sea routes, Istanbul has many land trade routes as well. In 330 AD, Constantine the Great declared the empire of the unified Roman Empire and named the old city of Byzantium after himself, Constantinople. In this city, an estimated 3/4 of the population were Turks, leaving 1/4 of the population Greeks, Armenians, and Jews. In 551 AD, two Persian monks from the Silk Roads smuggled silkworm eggs into Istanbul. This led to the established Byzantium silk industry. This allowed the Byzantiums to trade silk around Europe. As their capital, Istanbul traded silk as well. During the Silk Road times, Istanbul was called Constantinople. There are many trade routes leading to Istanbul. Istanbul was known as the last destination on the Silk Roads. The Mediterranean Sea contributed greatly to the trade in Istanbul, and it commanded many trade routes from the Mediterranean basin. Istanbul is the largest major city and port of Turkey. During the Ottoman Empire, Istanbul was known as the most important city. When the Ottoman Turks took over the Byzantine Empire in 1453, 1,000 years later it was still important in long-distance commerce. Beginning in the 4th century, Istanbul thrived as an important destination in its own right for riches from the east. Istanbul was known as the largest and richest city in the Mediterranean. Istanbul received lots of trade and was the capital of many empires, making it important and very wealthy. Istanbul was most likely inhabited 5,000 years ago. In the 1st century, Istanbul had been a part of the Roman Empire. Constantine the Great was the emperor of Rome. The Greeks founded the colony of Byzantium in the 7th century BCE. The Roman Emperor Constantine proclaimed it his capital in 330 AD and renamed it Constantinople. When Constantinople was under the Roman Empire, Constantine was their leader. Between the 5th and 15th centuries, the Byzantine Empire controlled much of the Mediterranean and was one of the richest and largest in the world. The Byzantine Empire had a big influence over southern Europe, northwestern Africa, Anatolia and Turkey, the Levant, and farther reaches of the Middle East. Istanbul is located in the Middle East, in the country Turkey. Istanbul has a strategic location for trade, and it's on the Triangle Peninsula between Europe and Asia. Istanbul is thought to be the last stop on the Silk Road journey. Because of its location, Istanbul receives trade from sea and land. Istanbul was known as the center of silk trade until the 11th century. Istanbul has many exotic plants and goods that contribute to their trade and culture diffusion. Because Istanbul was such a big city, people produced fabric, clothing, food, chemicals, and cement. This was very helpful for trade in Istanbul. Aside from all the other trade in Istanbul, Istanbul had special cultural influence with Ukraine and medieval Russia. Istanbul has a strategic position on the Silk Roads because of all the trade routes that lead to it. Istanbul's strategic location is on the Black Sea, Bosporus Strait, and most importantly, the Mediterranean. Since Istanbul was the capital of so many empires and had many trade routes leading to it, it was well known and important in trade.